tried making margarine in butter churn and on a polyunsaturated backache. And the cow's been so nervous.
Polyunsaturated backache.
And you just found out you had a library book that's overdue. Someone took it out when Eisenhower was president. And your girlfriend just eloped with a scarecrow. She says he dresses better than you do. Is that what's got you putting in for a transfer to a Disney show, booby? Well, lift your head up high and take a wallow in the mud. So what if this cartoon isn't going your way? At least it doesn't guest star the bunny bears again. Remember, he who laughs last does not get the joke. I said, motivated. Roy, likewise, let's find that weasel. This is great. I should have gotten motivated a long time ago. Nothing can stop me now. Oh, excuse me, I gotta go listen to another speech. Well, we won't see him for a while. That's what you said the last time. Yeah, but he obviously ran into our friend with the podium and got a speech that got him all fired up. And it could happen again. Not if my plan works. Wait, this is the feline philosopher, and he's going to deliver an inspirational speech just for you. Yes. Proceed. Hey there, ducky. You say it's a hot summer's night and you just inhaled a dragonfly. That's exactly what happened to me. Yeah, that's and a very lonely porcupine is following you around. He keeps asking you for a hug. All the time! Now how did you know? Say, did you ever have a nightmare that you were a centipede? And you had 700 children and you had to buy tap shoes for all of them? I dreamed that last night. And it's 4 a.m. and you've got to take the Brahma bull for a walk. Happens all the time. By the time Wade gets through with that philosopher, he'll be in no condition to motivate the weasel or anyone else. We'll see. Here he comes. Fine. Giving any more speeches? No, I gotta hide. I gotta run and hide and give up and surrender and all. Woe is I. Well, looks like our troubles are over. Now you just gonna lie around the mud hole all day, monkey? Well, lift your head up high and put your noses to the grindstone. Wait until you drop and then get up and wait some more. You and your big ideas. Take a walk in the sun and show the world how industrious you are. Plow the fields, sharp the corn, and whatever else comes into your mind.
As a family farm, when prices go up the way they are, it crushes you. And now Susan Collins voted to support Trump's war in Iran. Gas prices have gone up through the roof. Tell Susan Collins to stop Trump's war. We can't afford it.
How many times have I warned you?
Harris Farmers Union helps you get growing. Enjoy nut trees, shade trees, fruit trees, including apple, cherry, peach, pear, and plum, plus flowering shrubs and berry bushes. Get your garden
The thing that I guess I appreciate about Trump, if you want to put it that way, I mean, I don't know if it's due to lack of sophistication or if it's just that he can't help himself, but he just says it. He just says it. And so I choose to believe him when he says that, you know, Mira Mandelson loves Israel more than the United States, that she's got a lot of money, that she, you know, is a big donor. Like, I mean, he's communicating to us, listen, I'm doing what I'm doing because she bought me.
But that's also, by the way, what I think is wrong with Kash Patel. He's from Las Vegas. Las Vegas.
You know, just to touch on what she just said about the now prez, right? I was saying something similar to this before, like a few months ago. I was like, you know, it seems like, you know, because they were talking about whether or not he's corrupt and his corruption and whatnot, talking about the president. And I was like, you know, the guy's like an old school business guy from New York. And like an old school business guy from New York is just like, how much and what do you want? You know, and he kind of has that, it seems like, he kind of has that same mentality going into the presidency. He's just like, what do you want? I need this much. Are you going to give me that much? Okay, then what do you want in exchange? Okay. all right, I think we can make that happen. And I think he just really likes to make deals, and it's about what he wants more than most other things. And he just kind of goes, all right, how much? $250 million. All right, what do you want? Huh? Oh yeah, over in the Middle East. Okay, fine, whatever. And he's just like, I think it's like that simple. I don't even think it's like that crazy. People are talking about him being like a Trojan horse. I don't even know if it's that. I think he's just like, how much? What's your name? Larry Ellison? What's your name? Sam Altman. Mark Zuckerberg? Well, how much are you gonna pledge? 500 billion? Okay. What do you want? Data centers. Okay. Aren't you already building data centers? Oh, you just want less red tape. All right, whatever. Fine. No problem. 500 billion, right? With a B? Okay. Let's do it. Like I feel like it's like that simple. He's like, whatever. How much? I don't care. Who are you guys? You guys are tech guys? Okay. You want to be a part of a panel that dictates what's going to happen with AI? Fine. I don't care. Bring your friends. As long as they have money. I think it's really that simple with him. I really do. I don't think it's some crazy like behind it. Like I think he's just like, how much we making here? If my family's walking away, potentially being trillionaires, let's do it. What are we talking about here? He's just like, okay, is there gonna be real estate? There is. Gaza's where? It's beside an ocean. Really? It's like beachfront. That's beachfront property. Are you for real? Okay. Do it. I don't know. Wipe them out. I don't know. Do whatever you gotta do. Can I get I get hotels. I want 5 hotels. I can have 5? Okay. Done. Like, I think it's that simple. He's just like, okay. And then I want them to look like the ones in New York. It's gonna be beachfront? Alright. Well, go ahead. Do what you gotta do. I think it's that simple. Anyway, let's keep going. This is where they start talking about Cash Patel. And I did not know Cash Patel came from Vegas. I am a realtor. See? Yeah. No, yeah, and I kind of agree with him. Some oceanfront property. I don't know. That's... oceanfront property is it's hard to come by nowadays.
But who cares?
Especially in the Middle East. I mean...
No big deal.
This is where they start talking about Cash Patel. I didn't know he was from Vegas. That makes me look at him completely different.
Vegas is a gambling empire. That's it. They own Vegas. So when I see people coming out of Vegas, my immediate assumption is, well, if you made it up the chain in Vegas, you've already done some deals. Allegedly, my opinion, but when I was like, Cash Patel's from Las Vegas, of course, obviously he's corrupt. You don't get ahead in Las Vegas because you're like a good guy.
Like, his behavior makes that obvious.
Right.
What do you think about the reporting about his, like, alcohol use? Do you think that's, like, an attempt to smear him so
No, I don't.
to get rid of him?
I think he drinks. I think it's very stupid for someone like The Atlantic to publish that. It's just, I mean, they're too well known to be like, I'm just going to publish a piece. It's way too specific. And his reaction, he's so vociferous about it. It was like too much. And he just kind of strikes me as, when I was reading some of the stories, I was like, they're way too specific. And I do know that people don't like him, so they would leak those sorts of stories.
Right.
If The Atlantic if their response is, we are prepared to defend ourselves in court, then they have something. It's the same way where everyone is, sue Candace. I have been meticulous about making sure that I am saving every source, every conversation. I don't take an unnecessary risk. I don't want to be sued and then proven an idiot by being like, oh, well, she was just coming up with fantasy and nothing was driving this. So
of course,
they are not independent. They have people that they have to rely upon. They have to have those legal teams. They did not publish that article and put a target on their back from the FBI director on the basis of just wanting to like LOL publish. That's my read on the situation.
Yeah.
And he is erratic. There's something about him that feels erratic. And even
I should give you a little breakdown for those of you that don't know what The Atlantic said. The Atlantic posts an article. It might be behind a paywall, but I can tell you about it. And they were just talking about Cash Patel potentially having a drinking problem, like getting drunk a lot, basically. I don't know if that's true. That's what they said. I think he threatened to sue, and they actually said we are willing to defend ourselves in court about the whole thing. which means that they have some kind of inner information, feeling like they can prove what they are saying. So as you can see here, the Kash Patel, he has filed a $250 million defamation suit against The Atlantic and reporter Sarah Fitzpatrick over an article alleging excessive drinking, unexplained absences, and erratic behavior that posed a national risk. It was posted in April 2026. The report cited over 24 anonymous sources claiming Patel was often unreachable and intoxicated.
Last night he came home with one of those super skinny meat sticks.
Wasn't that skinny?
Jen, it was slim.
To irresistible flavors.
Was exactly what they're describing. He would just be gone. He would just be rolling blunts and doing other things, and he would just be gone out of nowhere. He'd come back all lit up, and it was nuts. It was so crazy. Exactly what you think Hollywood, the absolute worst. Anyway, I always think of that guy. Always, every single time I hear about Kash Patel, his erratic behavior. I've seen it before. I've seen behavior like that before, many times. Published saw he's intoxicated, absent, including an incident where security requested breaching equipment to enter his locked room. Patel denies the allegations as a malicious hit piece, while The Atlantic stands by its reporting and vows to defend itself against the meritless lawsuit. So this is them saying, hey man, we really have these sources. We're not making this up. We're not TMZ. We're actually going to defend ourselves. Legal and investigative escalations to win the defamation suit. Patel must prove actual malice, meaning the publisher knew the claims were false or acted with reckless disregard. People always forget that part with, all the people who want Candace sued and defamation and this and that. AKA like the Brian Harpole lawsuit. He's going to have to prove that she was actually malicious with what she was doing. And he's not going to be able to. Meanwhile, the FBI reportedly opened a criminal leak investigation into Fitzpatrick, to identify the anonymous sources. Wow! Holy! A move critics describe as an unprecedented probe targeting a journalist. Following the lawsuit, I don't know why more people aren't talking about this. This sounds crazy. For the Bureau to be doing this at the request of the director? This is like J. Edgar Hoover type stuff. Fitzpatrick stated she was inundated with new information corroborating her original story. Nuts. I did not think I would dive this deep into it. Additional controversy, subsequent reporting revealed Patel distributed personalized bourbon bottles engraved with cash. Cash with a dollar sign? Yeah. There's no way. There's no way. There's no way. Kash Patel with a dollar sign, bureau director, to staff and civilians while on official business. That's what he was doing. What's his name? Tyler? Okay, all good. No, I told Charlie I'd see him in Valhalla. Boys, get over here. Check this bottle out. Yeah, don't even worry about it. 33 hours, we got him. Check this bottle out. Check it out. Touch that engraving. That's real engraving right there. You ever seen anything like this? Go ahead and crack that bad boy open. No, I got a whole case of them. Go ahead and crack that bad boy open. Go ahead. Take a little swig. Give me a little bit. I will see you in Valhalla, boys. Are you kidding me? That's amazing. On official business? Some of these politicians, you think Hunter Biden was the only one wilding out, going to Russia, going crazy? You think he was the only one doing that? Come on. There's a personality type, like there's a personality type, the UFC fighters in general, boxers. There's a personality type. There's a personality type that people want to be in politics. And it's a wild personality type. It's not like a regular person. The White House has defended Patel, with the press secretary, Caroline Leavitt, stating he remains a critical player in the administration despite the mounting controversies. Of course, he's the perfect guy. If any of this is true, any of it, they're like, oh, we gotta keep this guy forever. This is perfect. He comes up, oh, I've been having doubts about what happened with Charlie. You guys know what I mean. I don't like what happened with me and Joe Kenton. And Joe might have been right. I was looking into, here you go. Here's a video of you doing something crazy when you were blackout drunk. You want to rethink what you're saying here, son? How did you guys... When did I get blackout? You drank 3 of those bottles with your name on them. Oh, we drank all 3 of those? Oh my god, that bourbon's too smooth. Okay, I'll go back to work. That's why Dan really quit. He couldn't keep up with Cash. Cash was standing on desks. He was like, whoa!
I would suggest the Milwaukee Diagonal Cutters to coworkers just because of durability and how they do all.
My deputy. I don't know if you're black or Italian or what, buddy. I have no idea. I can't tell. You look like RoboCop to me. But I know one thing. I want RoboCop to take a swig. Dan's just like, I can't do this. I can't do this. We can't do this all night, Cash. I haven't seen my wife. I have a life outside of here. Get inside that office. He arrives at the bureau in the morning. There's just 2 shot glasses. Cash is just like, I've been up all night. Sit down. I've been up all night. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna finish this bottle. We'll crack it right now. Let's go. Come on, Dan. This is what it's about. I'll see you in Valhalla. Let's go. 33 shots. Let's go. 33 each. Let's go, I said. Come on. Keep going. Dan was like, I can't do this anymore. I'm kidding. Come on. It's fun to hear, but not true. Kash Patel remains a critical player in the administration. You heard what she said. She's never made up things before. She hasn't. She's a nice lady. Congratulations on the baby. I don't know if she's had the baby. I think she's having the baby. Congratulations to her. Babies are wonderful. But yeah, that's Kash Patel. Anyways, I got put on a detour. I'm sorry, guys. We took a little detour there. My apologies. Let's get back into the clip. You know, we're talking about Kash Patel here.
The weird tweet about my girlfriend's a country music sensation. You got to be a couple of cocktails in, right? I mean, I hope that actually helps him. Actually, I don't think it's defamation. I think that is the best case scenario. It's like, oh, I was just a few cocktails in. That's why I tweeted it. Because if you did it sober, then I have some bigger questions. You know, about your competence.
I mean, the biggest thing for me was, you like to get drunk in DC around a bunch of these people that, like, I wouldn't want to be in a room with, to be honest with you. Like, I don't want to spend my free time with these people at all. But then on top of that, to make yourself vulnerable by getting wasted, like, that's so crazy.
The hockey thing.
Crazy. Crazy. And people defended him on that, like, oh, he's celebrating, US won, like, whatever, and okay, fine, whatever. But now, in retrospect, when you realize that he clearly has a drinking problem.
I think that was very strange. It's just, you can celebrate, you can high five, but it was just like it just felt very frat boy about, and it's very frat boy.
With the backdrop of how poorly he's doing his job. I mean, one thing that really stood out to me was the guy who first attempted to assassinate Donald Trump. I'm forgetting his name right now. I don't know why. But
those were 3 assassination attempts in.
Yeah.
I think his name is Matthew Crooks.
Yes, perfect. Okay, Matthew Crooks. So Tucker did this really great special.
I can't wait to play the clip. This person's like, Kash played hockey. I can't wait. I hope I can find it. I hope I can find the clip. I hope I can find it. Shout out to Tinfoil. What is this? Tinfoil something or other? Shout out to you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for saying that. Cash is a hockey bro. 100%. 100%, guys. I get it. 100%. Hockey celebration. Oh my gosh, I understand completely. I understand. Don't worry, I already added it. You don't have to spam it, tinfoil, Miss Diana. Relax. Don't worry. I already put it up on the screen for everybody to see. Oh man, why can't I find it? Oh gosh. They're not showing. Wow, it's gone. Wow, it's so buried. That's nuts. It's so buried, it's just gone. There it is. Oh. This person. Oh man, where's the actual celebration though? Is this it? Nah, this isn't it. Oh, that's not it either. Come, there we go. Let's go. Let's go. What are we talking about here? Does it have sound? Give me some sound. That's so funny. Oh my gosh. He's a hockey bro. Hey man, hey, listen, I get it. I get it. He's a hockey bro. I understand. He played hockey. That's like being like, that's like talking about Hunter Biden being like, what? He just, Hunter Biden, he loves crack. What's the big deal? I don't understand. He's twerking with this Russian lady of the night. This is what he does. This is kind of his thing. It's always been his thing. I get it, but it looks insane. Okay? And then you have to understand, if the Atlantic brings this clip to that lawsuit, if this clip plays in the courtroom, he's gonna have to answer about it. He's gonna have to be like, well, you have to understand, I'm a hockey bro. I'm actually a hockey bro. I actually played hockey quite a bit, actually. And they're gonna be like, I respect that, Mr. Patel, but why are you getting wasted with a bunch of people in the locker room? He's like, well, you clearly don't understand the dynamics of hockey. Can I explain? Can I finish? Can I finish? You don't understand the dynamics of hockey, okay? It's an unwritten rule that hockey players get to fight. It's also an unwritten rule that when you win, you smash beers inside the locker room. That is an unwritten rule. Can anybody back me up on this? Anybody? Where's Dan? Can anybody? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. You think he drinks Ray and Nephew? Oh, see, you know about my Caribbean heritage. I think if anybody could handle that, I feel like he could. He seems erratic. He does seem erratic. I don't know why. Some people just have that energy, you know? Like I watch Jesse on Fire. I watch him live sometimes, and sometimes the comments that he gets are so insulting. It's crazy. People are like, you did Adderall this morning. He's like, what are you talking about? He's like, this is just how I am. And it's like, that's just how he is. Some people just have that energy. But Jesse has like a fun, like, hey, what's going on, guys? He has like that energy. Cash Patel has like a, like, what did you do? Did you seem a little shifty. Did you do something? And he's like, huh? What? Huh? What? No, I didn't do anything. No, I'm not. Yeah. His eyes start going back and forth. He's like a darker erratic energy. It's an erratic energy that people don't like. It's not golden retriever energy. You know what I mean? Some people have golden retriever energy, and that's erratic. That's all over the place, and it's fun. You like it. He doesn't have that. He has a different type of erratic energy. He has an erratic energy where it's like, this guy could possibly do anything. I don't know about this guy, but it's interesting. It's interesting. Yeah, Jesse's lives are funny. It's very funny. Very funny the way some people comment on his stuff. I'm like, yo, what's wrong with these people? Why are they getting at him like this? And then it makes me understand why you guys are actually the sweetest, best community. I understand why people say that now. You guys are the best, okay? just truly, just incredible. So I get it now. So much so. So thank you guys for being yourselves. You guys are incredible. But yeah, that's Kash Patel, going nuts in the hockey thing. Some people did defend it, just like some people tried to defend it here, talking about him just being a hockey bro and whatnot. And I get it. I do get it. I don't drink alcohol. I've never liked alcohol. But is Jesse a veteran? I actually don't know. I don't know. He seems like one to me. That's just me being around a bunch of vets before. Like, not all the time, but like meeting a bunch. He seems like it, but I don't actually know. That's one thing I never asked him in our interview. We sat down for 3.5 hours. I completely forgot to ask that question. So, someone says no, he's not. There's your answer. Anyway, let's keep going here with the Kash Patel stuff.
On the lack of investigation into that, and how much we were lied to by our FBI, like the fact that the FBI told us that, oh, there's no online trail of this guy, and it turns out, no, he was actually pretty active online. Why did you lie to us about it? And then he played a video of Kash Patel testifying about it in front of a congressional committee, and Patel was like, I can't disclose that information because there's a trial, except there isn't a trial. Crooks is dead. So, like, we want to learn more about his motives, like, where is he from, how did this happen, what were the security failures, how come no one in the Secret Service got fired over this? We're not getting any answers. So I look at our government, I'm just like, this is all kabuki theater, and these people don't represent us. They don't care about our safety, they don't care about our country, they don't care about the injustices that get carried out against, some of the biggest public figures in the country. So, like, how the hell am I supposed to trust this government? And it makes me increasingly angry, to be honest with you, when you see how much of our money, how much of our earnings goes toward a government that squanders it.
I would push back on your point that Kash Patel isn't doing his job. I think he is.
Interesting.
I think that is his job. And that is why he is in there. They put him in there, and they tell him what to do, and it is to look the other way and to come up with excuses. I think he is executing his job perfectly.
Well, he hasn't been fired yet,
yeah.
So
his job is being executed perfectly. His job is to protect the elites, and shame on us for thinking that his job is to make sure justice is served, and he paid all that lip service. If I get in there day one, here's what's going to happen. None of this happens because
he did that. What she just said, day one, and all these things that he said, man. Yeah, I don't even want to go and find the video. I've made like multiple videos about Kash Patel and how great it's going to be when he gets in that position and what's going to happen, how much change is going to happen right away. Day one, clips of him saying day one with Glenn Beck, day one, all these different podcasts, Stu Peters, day one, kept on saying it. He's just as much, I saw somebody's talking about bait and switch when you're talking about the president. He's just as much of a bait and switch, if not more, than the president. If not more. Because you kind of understood with the president, like Anna was saying, it was like, oh, well, it's just, at least he says it out loud. He's just very open about things. If you've come to make a deal, he's ready to make a deal. With Kash, it was completely different. It was like, this is what I'm going to do. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to do this. I have a list of people who need to be arrested. I will have the power to do it, and I will do it. It was like, that was it. That's exactly what he was saying. There was no I'll see. There was no maybe. There was none of that. He was like, I am going to get this done. Watch and see. As soon as I get day one, he kept saying day one, I get confirmed, that's it. There was no one who was a bigger bait and switch than Kash. Kash he just became the swamp. It was crazy. It was crazy. It was like he was a nice waterbed, and we were all just like, oh, this waterbed's great. And then all of a sudden, the waterbed sprung a leak, and you're like, what? There's swamp water inside this waterbed. That's why it smelled in here the whole time. Guys, what are we going to do? How are we going to clean this up? There's no cleaning it up. There's no cleaning it up. It's crazy. Anyway, don't let me get sidetracked talking about swamp and waterbeds and stuff.
he went in there in the same way that Trump went in there. I don't know who their boss is. I actually think both of them have the same boss, if I'm being frank.
Yeah.
They both answer to Vegas and Tel Aviv, but it's clear to me that he is doing a great job for the people that he actually works for.
Yeah.
And I obviously have a lot of resentment, particularly for Kash Patel, because of the Charlie Kirk situation. Looking at what he has done, the fact that he won't hand over the documents, and the theater of that, the theater of how they came out, and oh gosh, it makes me so sick. You have no idea how sick it all makes me to reflect upon just the fact that Charlie empowered these people. It makes me sick.
Well, I mean, look, I started watching. I had never watched your show until after he was assassinated, because I'm like, there's something off, and she knew him better than anyone else in the media. So let me see what she's got. But I've got some.
So we're gonna get into this in a second. Get into the whole Charlie Kirk part. There is going to be a part that I skip over because I've already shown it. I don't know. I showed it in a pre-recorded video that released over the weekend or maybe like early last week. So I don't want there to be too much overlap, too much repeat. But you know, I will show what's needed and I'll skip over what's not needed. Just in terms of the recording, there's a certain part where they talk about the recording. I made a video that I know a lot of people have seen about the video and the girl who actually came up with where the video came from. I don't know if a lot of you guys seen that. I'm starting to notice that the live stream crowd is a little different than the pre-recorded crowd. So a lot of you may not have seen the video that I'm talking about, but I'll try to make it all work. Let's jump into that part where they start talking about what happened to Charlie and why Candace is so sick about the whole thing, which is so true. I mean, you know, I think Hunter Biden. You know, I can't believe I'm saying this, but Hunter Biden said it best. It's not just the people that he was friends with. It was the people that he made. He made the people. He made the people. He made sure that they got in position. I mean, all of them. He made sure. Why hasn't RFK talked about this? RFK knows the markings of all this. He knows his father and uncle cases up and down. Why hasn't he talked about this? Why is Kash Patel blocking things? Why did Dan Bongino not stand up more? Why didn't the president actually talk about it and have a press conference about the whole thing and put all the resources towards it? Why didn't the president's son, Don Jr., talk about this more? I mean, it was nuts. So many of them. Why did JD Charlie made sure JD and the now president met. He made sure they connected. He made sure RFK and him connected, which brought along the Maha crowd, which brought along a huge voter block. What? Didn't they all care about Charlie? Like, he did make them. He really did. He really made sure everything fell into place. It was him, behind the scenes the whole time. You know, funny enough, the president actually thanks Joe Rogan. You know, the first time he saw him after the election, he shook his hand and said, "You won me the election." Brought Joe in close and said, "You won me the election." That wasn't true. It was Charlie. Charlie won him the election. It's nuts. Even Gavin Newsom, when Gavin and Charlie sat down together on Gavin's podcast, which I did not like that Charlie did. I was very upset about that because he taught Gavin so much for Gavin to run for president and know exactly what to do. And Gavin might actually do that now. But even Gavin knew. He's like, "You won him the presidency." He's like, "You did it through the young people." And Charlie was like, "Oh, yeah, I appreciate." You know, Charlie would always be like, "No, you know, the president did it. His values did it. You know, America did that." But even Gavin knew. I don't know. I don't get it. Let's keep going here. So this is what we're talking about here. Let's switch over. I love that they did this. I would love to see a show where these two just like sit down and just give a...
The Planet Fitness Black Card. Access any location. Bring a friend anytime.
We brought you the dinner you ordered, sir. I didn't order no dinner. I am Friday and hey, is that ribs? Ribs, potato salad, beans, slaw? I shouldn't, but oh, give me those. Where's the slaw? Oh, it is the slaw. Oh, that's the slaw.
until after he was assassinated, because I'm like, there's something off, and she knew him better than anyone else in the media, so let me see what she's got. But I've got so much going on, and it was hard to follow your investigation, because there were so many moving parts, and I gotta produce a show, and so I just kind of dropped off a little bit. But what were you saying about Kash Patel's refusal to hand over documents? I don't know about that.
So the trial, I'm obviously on top of it, because I really do think that what they're so angry about right now, more broadly speaking, is that we're staying focused on things. We are designed to be an ADHD culture.
That's true.
Charlie died yesterday. I forgive him. Okay, everybody move on. We're all good. Well, let's move on. She's moved on. Everyone, forget about it. Epstein files. Oh, who are we talking about the Epstein files? Okay, good. Let's move on. Let's move on. Okay, Trump says it's good, and you're MAGA, right? Here's some red meat. You're MAGA. Trump said it.
You're
Lance
squirrel.
King. Yeah. And we're not doing that. We're not doing that. And with this, I was like, I am not moving on from this. And so,
midterms.
Exactly, we've signed up. We're getting the documents, obviously, but the midterms. And in this particular case, so they obviously, I sat down with Erica, and she explained to me they were sort of moving toward this May date, or where he hasn't even entered in a plea yet, to be clear. And so in May, they're supposed to have this hearing, and there's limited discovery in that time frame. Because one of the questions I asked Erica, sincerely, was you're communicating to the public that you...
I gotta just interrupt for a quick second. Someone said, do you notice Tim Dillon avoids reporting on Candace lately? Tim Dillon's not a reporter. Tim Dillon's a comedian. He's not a reporter. He talks about what he can make funny. I know you like him. You get information from him like you get information from me. We're comedians, not reporters. So you gotta find... You can come here and you'll hear all about Candace. He's doing what's funny to him. He's not a reporter. Very, very... you gotta remember, though. It's an important distinction, Comedians have always been the truth tellers. Someone says today's truth tellers. They've always been the truth tellers. But... we are not reporters. We are looking at situations and we're trying to find what's funny. How can we make this dark thing funny? And Tim Dillon has been smashing that from episode 1. I mean, it's crazy how good he is at it. I mean, but just a little distinction there. He's not going to bring you all the news that you want. He's going to bring you what stands out to him the most. That's what comedians do. That's what comedians do more than anything. What stands out to them the most is what they're going to bring to you. Anyway, let's keep going here.
Believe they have the right guy. So my assumption when she was saying that to Barry Weiss was that obviously she has access to more information than we have. As she's involved in the case, she's listed as a victim on the case. She can see stuff that we can't see. Maybe it's literally a clear video of Tyler Robinson coming out and shooting Charlie. Open to that. And then when I sat down with her, she was like, "Oh no, I don't have anything more than the public has, because now what happens is we have to move towards this May date, and the SBI, which is the Bureau of Investigations in Utah, is the state investigations in Utah. They're going to go now find all this evidence that Tyler Robinson did it." And Tyler Robinson, then they present that to Tyler Robinson's team, and they then build their sort of defense leading to this May date. Well, it turns out that Tyler Robinson's team files a document and says, we need to move this date because we have been asking for Kash Patel, who should not even be involved in this case, mind you, it's a state case, to release the information to us, to give us these documents to his defense. So they haven't even given it to Utah. Forget SBI, they haven't given it to the SBI, the defense doesn't have it, and they're like, how are we going to have this hearing when they're going to get up there and essentially put on a show trial and say, Your Honor, look at these messages, where they're like, we don't even know those messages are real. That's crazy. Right? So imagine we're moving toward this date, and all they have is what Kash Patel told us in the first 48 hours, but they will not give them the discovery on that. They won't give them, so if I say, Anna texted me and said she did it, and that they want to say that, blah, 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 she hasn't even been able, the defense has not even been able to access Tyler Robinson's phone. They haven't been able to see the gun. Nothing.
Wow.
And what's holding that up?
That is weird. And also, what's up with the arbitrary May date? Right?
Yeah, so that was the thing. They fought back immediately because they were like, we want to make sure that we get the discovery that we're asking for. And the judge was like, oh, it'll be fine. Don't worry about it. By then, in May, if we need to bump it, we will. and they all kind of agreed to that. And now that May is upon us, Erica's team, because she's a listed victim, so when I say Erica's team, I mean literally she's a victim in this case, is fighting them. They're like, no, we want to keep the May date. And I'm like, so why would you want to keep the May date? And I instantly alerted the public to that. I'm like, they are not giving them. We have no idea of these shady messages. Did Kash Patel, after a few beers, type them up? We don't know. We can't say no.
That's so weird. You know what? So when it comes to Erica's behavior, like, I will admit, like, some of her behavior is odd, right, and off-putting. And I try to give people the benefit of the doubt, and I wonder if, you know, her insistence that it's Tyler Robinson and nothing else is shady and, like, we need to pursue this prosecution, it's definitely him. I wonder if it's because, you know, when a family member of yours gets murdered or killed or harmed in some way, usually the family members want closure so badly that they, as soon as there's a suspect, they want that suspect to be the guilty one, and they just go for it full force, and maybe that's what's informing her decisions to kind of
You know, I used to talk about this early on, you know, months ago, like 8 months ago, that sometimes people just need that closure, and they just need the closure. And I think it's not just Erica who got like that, or potentially got like that, because since I've, you know, had that opinion, a lot has come out about Erica. But I think a lot of the public felt that way. Like, they just kind of wanted the closure. They don't want the obsessive, like, they don't want to have to believe that the person potentially got away. They don't want to have to believe that the politicians that they believed in might have not had something to do with it, but are keeping a little tight-lipped purposely. They don't want to believe that possibly a foreign nation did it. Like, if you take everything that we've discussed in regards to the investigation, it gets very dark. You know, I make it funny. You know, Baron will make it funny. You know, Candace is pretty good too, sense of humor. But it gets very dark what is being covered and talked about, and a lot of people don't want that. There's a lot of you guys who are like, yeah, give me that. I want that because that's truth. But there's a lot of people who are like, I just want this to be done. Like, that's what I need. My brain needs to just have a closed, just close off the loop so I can move on to the next thing. Please and thank you. And Tyler Robinson was that for so many people. He was exactly that for so many people. You know, Erica looking up and saying, I forgive him, people were just like, done deal, and he'll be dead whenever this trial's done, and that's all I need. Perfect. You know? Which is wild, you know? I saw her cry on stage, that young kid's gonna die. Perfect. Perfect ending to a story for me. That's how some people feel. So, you know, I understand what Anna's saying here, but at the same time, Anna's getting Candace pilled right now in terms of the Charlie Kirk investigation. That's what's happening in this little segment here.
Pursue it the way that she's pursuing it, I don't know, but I will say this. I don't know how it would behave, to be honest. Like, I just think about how much I love my husband, and I don't think anyone would see me for a few years. Like, I just would not be able to go public. I wouldn't be able to have the strength to even talk in public about anything. And so that stood out to me about her, but also she's a different person than me. So I just, people do grieve differently. I just know that the case itself has a few elements to it that raise some eyebrows. Everyone in the media that's critical of you is like so vociferous that it kind of gave me the idea that like the general public isn't with you until I told female family members of mine that I'm doing your show, and they're just like, oh my god, I love Candace, I watch her every day. And I'm like, really? You're not mad at her because of the whole Erica thing? They're like, no. And I'm like, really? Like, I couldn't believe it.
Oh, I love this. Just a quick interruption. Quick Joe interruption. Coach, you're a family man with children. You can't be serious when you say pride is a good thing. This isn't Babylon. We're supposed to be Christian country. There's no place for pride. Oh, how far over your head did the joke go? Oh man, how far over your head did the joke go? Okay, well, I hope you end up catching up with the rest of us. That joke was far over your head. Perhaps if someone in the crowd can hand this person a ladder so they can actually reach up to where the joke is. The joke is so far over their head. I mean, this is like Ben Shapiro reaching for something on a regular sized counter. The joke is just so far over their head that they just can't get. Hopefully there's somebody in the crowd that's willing to go like this and let you get a leg up so you can reach up and catch the joke. I hope that somebody's willing to do that. Oh my gosh. Anyway, have fun. But what we used to say back in the 90s? Burn. Oh, you got to coach burn. Anyway, let's keep going. So immature of me. Anyway.
So, yeah, clearly what you're seeing is something, I mean, the numbers in your show, like, it's very highly viewed, okay? So, obviously the people agree with you that there's something off, and I agree with you that there's something off. I just don't know what it is.
Yeah, and I think that what you're describing is the process that we all went through, because you don't want to even go down that route. You're like,
totally.
Maybe it's this. Maybe, in my head I was like, maybe she's being blackmailed. Maybe she's scared they're going to kill her. Maybe, like you said, she just wants a quick conclusion to all of this. Maybe she's still in shell shock and is actually not controlling anything at Turning Point, was my initial suspicion. And just on paper, she's CEO, but she's actually just home crying every day, and like behind the scenes, like, you know, undressed. And I went that whole thing, and for me, I never wanted to arrive at Erica being suspicious. I abstained from the like, oh, she's wearing hot pants with JD Bits. None of that matters to me.
Yeah,
because I don't think people understand. I needed it as a part of my grieving process not to accept that plausibility, because then for me, beyond just having lost Charlie and having to wake up to, I then had to wake up to the idea that Trump betrayed him in a way, and Kash Patel, everyone is betraying him in not seeking more investigation. What I had to go through to pursue that, I had to grieve again, right? Because I knew how much Charlie wanted love. Like, I have these messages, like I was helping Charlie draft text messages and what should I say, so I had to grieve again and go, okay, I need to like really just follow the facts here, and that's all I've done. And it's landed me at, she's remarkably suspicious, not because of the way she dresses, not because of whether or not she's crying enough. All of that kind of paints a picture that makes people uncomfortable, but just objective lies that I can't comprehend. Why would you lie and tell the public? And I think for me the most explosive one that no one wants to address by calling me a monster, why would you lie and say that the surgeon told you or told Andrew that he had a Superman neck and all of this stuff that objectively did not come from the surgeon? It came from Erica. And why would you lie and tell me that Andrew went rogue and sent that message when you did it with him? I can't make sense of that. A source, a source, and I trust the source. And obviously, that's a strong statement to make. And so when Erica first said to me, I also didn't believe her, right? So when she said, I said, what's the Superman neck? And she said, Andrew went rogue. And then I said, the surgeon went rogue though, and talked to, the surgeon violated HIPAA, and Andrew went rogue.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And beyond having the conversation, Andrew then tweeted without your permission. Like, that's a lot to have had to happen. I don't believe that the surgeon violated HIPAA and spoke to Andrew without your permission. And I said that to her face. I said, it's a tough one for me, but okay. And then I got the information that no, Erica actually called the surgeon. It's a three-way call, and she wanted to know what to tell the public about why the bullet didn't go through. And that Superman neck thing came from her. So, the public was told from Andrew's tweet.
That's crazy.
So I'm like, I can't, somebody just defend it. Somebody just tell me why that shouldn't completely unnerve me. Donors. Another huge one.
It's pretty crazy. I brought this up before, but it was like she called the surgeon, they called the surgeon, because they wanted to figure out what to tell the public. And I was like, why do you even care? Like, your husband passed away, why would you even care what the public even thinks about entry or exit or anything? Like, who cares? You just lost your husband, you don't have to answer anybody's questions. Like, I mean, truthfully, right? You don't really have to answer at all. You could have just been like, whatever, guys. And on top of that, why would you feel like you even needed to answer? Right? Why would Turning Point even feel like they needed to answer on an exit or entry wound at all? It kind of just makes you feel like they were involved in the propaganda aspect the entire time. Kind of makes you feel that way. Not true, though. Not true. They're all good, upstanding people. I know so. I know so. That's why they told us that he had a neck made of steel. It was so we could all have the closure, you know. And that is part of it. That is part of it. You know, not like in a loving way of closure, in a stop asking questions way of closure. Like, we have this question answered. Really weird though. Really weird. I even talked about this when Candace first brought it up. I was like, Andrew did all this? And I made that joke about Erica throwing him under the bus whenever she has an opportunity to, because she's just like, whatever, it's Andrew, it's fine. Like, you take the blame. Because none of it makes sense. None of it makes sense. It's so sad. It's so sad. You know, and then Candace says this part, you know, like, why shouldn't that unnerve me? It kind of did with everybody. And again, it's so weird because then the regular actors, the regular minions came out and they were like, this is nonsense. This is nonsense what Candace is saying. And then it actually turned out to be true. And then they just ignored it, you know? And still to this day, they're like, she's proven nothing. There's nothing that Candace has proven, not one thing whatsoever at all. It's so crazy.
These are my two biggest things. Donors saying that video that or hasn't existed yet, the AI, alleged AI of Charlie saying, I appoint Erica to be the CEO. Well, Erica told me that he said that at an Aspen event. I was like, okay, great. Well, the Aspen people who were at the event said that never happened. What? These are the Turning Point USA donors.
That right there, you see that? That's her getting Candace pilled. You hear how high she said that? She said that very loudly. This is her getting Candace pilled right here. She said, what? She became one of us. Right in that moment, she became a mommy sleep. That's it. That's it. She's on board now. She's on board now. Right as she said that, and she said, what? She's in. She's locked in with us, ladies and gentlemen. Catch her in the chat. Candace goes live. She's in. She is 100% in with us.
Who have contacted me and said, Candace, that is AI. He did not say that. What? Now, they have alleged that they have the video of that. Why do they only play the audio? And then when I said, hey guys, this is not normal, it doesn't actually really sound like Charlie, the cadence is somewhat off, and I said, okay, so just drop the video. I use it down there. It's literally perfect. You guys mentioned this to the public. You said that Charlie, 2 weeks before, I guess, had done a complete 180 on his entire life's perspective that women should stay home and raise the children and not be CEOs. And suddenly he was like, you know what, actually, not only should women do it, but single women should do it. Widows should do it. And the kids should just be raised by the nanny and they should work 80-hour weeks.
That does seem uncharacteristic of Charlie Kirk.
It's completely uncharacteristic of everything he's ever said.
In fact, one of the last conversations I had with him was at the Democratic National Convention, and look, I always appreciated the fact that he was down to debate, right? Yes. And that he didn't ever let it get dirty. And so I appreciated that, and so we started debating about the role of women, and he basically said, because I don't have children, I don't plan on having children, it's just a decision that me and my husband made together, and honestly, I don't think that I have the right temperament to be a mom in today's society, because I will definitely kill people if they come anywhere. Like, what they're doing to my husband right now, if they tried to, like, harm my kids...
Prison.
I
can make myself at home.
100%. Yeah. I don't give a damn. That's how I am.
That's me.
I'm, like, fiercely loyal and defensive of my family. But anyway, he told me, well, you know, if you don't have kids, you don't really have a stake in the future of this country. And I just remember being very offended by that, because I love this country so much, and I definitely do have a stake in the future. Like, I have young, you know, nieces and nephews that I love to death, but even if I didn't, I love the people of this country. Like, I want it to succeed, and so in that conversation, he, like, really reiterated what he believes the role of women should be. So then, after he gets assassinated, and you don't really question it at first, because you don't want to be that guy or that person who's just like, I don't know, that sounds a little shady and weird. And you go along to get along. That's a good example of a story where you go along to get along. But, yeah, there was this feeling within me where it's like, well, maybe he was willing to go against his beliefs or his values because he wants to make sure that the business falls in the hands of a family member, right? Maybe that's why. But I do find it strange. I do.
But it goes...
You know, just to get into it a little bit, They're talking about the audio here. I know some of you have probably seen it already. Those of you that are just part of the live stream crowd, maybe you haven't seen it already. Sometimes, you won't be notified of a pre-recorded video, and then the pre-recorded crowd won't be notified if there is a live stream. It goes back and forth that way. It's like they're different lanes. It's like they see them as like completely different things. So I am going to show you guys a little bit about what they were talking about in terms of the audio potentially being fake. Okay. Allegedly, this is just this girl's findings. This is what she found. Her name is literally Mom Sleuth on TikTok, and this is what she stumbled upon.
I can prove this Charlie Kirk audio is fake and that the truth is even more disturbing than we thought.
A lot of organizations and groups, as soon as a founder leaves, it just kind of collapses. A lot of my job is not always in the day-to-day details. It's very much vision casting, very much driving success. But we have a great board, and God forbid if something happens, they'll figure it out. I appoint my wife to run Turning Point USA if something happens to me. Erica would do a great job.
A few weeks ago, while researching Charlie's final interview, I made notes about him discussing brands collapsing when founders leave. I didn't think much of it at the time, but when I heard this supposed donor event audio again today, I recognized the voice patterns. I went back to check, and while nothing matches exactly, there are many of the same words and phrases. Founders
are rarely
day-to-day,
good day-to-day managers.
Collapse.
Nothing collapses an organization quicker.
Vision casting.
So here's what I think happened. They scheduled that final interview knowing it would be Charlie's last. They harvested his voice, his speech patterns, his thoughts on leadership transitions, and they used AI to create audio of him appointing Erica as CEO. They probably hoped he would say something like, "I appoint Erica" naturally during that interview, but I can't confirm he never did. So they manufactured it using his own voice against him. This would mean Charlie Kirk's final interview was a voice harvesting operation. And in hindsight, it makes perfect sense. Why would Charlie be speaking at a restaurant entrepreneurship summit? It feels contrived. So if true, Erica Kirk is running TPUSA based on AI cloned audio of her dead husband's voice, created from his final interview hours before his assassination. And I just don't really believe in coincidences.
So again, that's Mom Sleuth on TikTok. So I don't know what else she's made. I don't really get on TikTok much myself. It's just not my speed. I feel like I'm almost too old for TikTok. Too young for Facebook, too old for TikTok. That's where we are. We're the new Gen X crowd, you know. So let me just jump over here. This interview that you're seeing down here, so you're seeing two different things. This interview, just to go over this, and I know, again, sorry about the overlap for anybody that's seen it, but this interview that this lady's talking about is actually called, cleverly enough, Charlie Kirk's final interview. That is what it's called. You can actually find it on the Turning Point website, or sorry, the Turning Point YouTube channel, I should say. It's Charlie. So here it is. This is what it's called. Again, you can see it right there underneath everything. It is called Charlie Kirk's final interview. And if you listen to Charlie talk, it actually does sound very similar in terms of the echo that's happening. It sounds very similar to what they played at AmFest.
Someone who has been into building stuff, and especially whether it be brands or businesses. And one thing I think that people don't quite grasp is that we have 1,000 employees in what we do. We have a very successful for-profit entity, a very successful not-for-profit entity. Well over $140 million in revenue now a year, which in our space is a lot of money, right? And so, yeah, look, I love finding problems and solving them, which is what an entrepreneur at its core actually is. And I love building teams. I myself know my skill set. Managing is not one of them. Managing people day to day. But I'm really good at trying to find a vision.
So it sounds very, very similar. That echo is very, very distinct. You can hear it here as well.
Driving success. But we have a great board, and God forbid if something happens, they'll figure it out. It's very much vision casting. Is not always in the day-to-day details. It's very much vision casting, very much driving success.
So here's the thing with that echo. The thing about it is, it's very hard to get rid of. It's very hard to just get rid of echo like that. It's not an easy task. So what you would do is, you would kind of run with it. Because to make it go away completely, very, very difficult. Especially that type of echo.
Alexa, Volume 1. Page 25, we're reading The German Mind, Book 9, Columbia University series. We're still in the first section. Page 25, Luther's Table Talk. Dr. Luther's wife complaining to him of the indocility and untrustworthiness of servants, he said, "A faithful and good servant is a real godsend, but truly 'tis a rare bird in the land. We find everyone complaining of the idleness and profligacy, profligacy, We find everyone complaining of the idleness and profligacy of this class of people. We must govern them Turkish fashion. So much work, so much victuals, has Pharaoh dealt with the Israelites in Egypt. Before I translated the New Testament out of the Greek, all longed after it. When it was done, their longing lasted scarce for weeks. Then they desired the books of Moses. When I had translated these, they had enough thereof in a short time. After that, they would have the Psalms. Of these they were soon weary, and desired other books. So will it be with the book of Ecclesiasticus, which they now long for, and about which I have taken great pains. All is acceptable until our giddy brains be satisfied. Afterwards we let things lie, and seek after new." August 25th, 1538, the conversation fell upon witches who spoil milk, eggs, and butter in farmyards. Dr. Luther said, "I should have no compassion on these witches. I would burn all of them. We read in the old law that the priest threw the first stone at such malefactors. 'Tis said this stolen butter turns rancid and falls to the ground when anyone goes to eat it. He who attempts to counteract and chastise these witches is himself corporally plagued and tormented by their master, the devil. Sundry schoolmasters and ministers have often experienced this. Our ordinary sins offend and anger God. What then must be his wrath against witchcraft, which we may justly designate high treason against divine majesty, a revolt against the infinite power of God? The jurisconsults who have so learnedly and pertinently treated of rebellion affirm that the subject who rebels against the sovereign is worthy of death. Does not witchcraft then merit death, being a revolt of the creature against the Creator, a denial to God of the authority it accords to the demon? Dr. Luther discussed at length concerning witchcraft and charms. He said that his mother had had to undergo infinite annoyance from one of her neighbors who was a witch, and whom she was fain to consolate with all sorts of attentions. For this witch could throw a charm upon children which made them cry themselves to death. A pastor having punished her for some knavery, she cast a spell on him by means of some earth upon which he had walked, and which she bewitched. The poor man hereupon fell sick of a malady which no remedy could remove, and shortly after he died. It was asked, can good Christians and God-fearing people also undergo witchcraft? Luther replied, yes, for our bodies are always exposed to the attacks of Satan. The maladies I suffer are not natural, but devil's spells. How powerful your elixirs. When I was young, someone told me this story. Satan had in vain set all his craft and subtlety at work to separate a married pair that lived together in perfect harmony and love. At last, having concealed a razor under each of their pillows, he visited the husband, disguised as an old woman, and told him that his wife had formed the project of killing him. He next told the same thing to the wife. The husband, finding the razor under his wife's pillow, became furious with anger and her supposed wickedness, and cut her throat. So powerful is Satan in his malice. Dr. Luther said he had heard from the Elector of Saxony, John Frederick, that a powerful family in Germany was descended from the devil, the founder having been born of a succubus. He added this story. A gentle man had a young and beautiful wife, who dying was buried. Shortly afterwards, this gentleman and one of his servants sleeping in the same chamber, the wife, who was dead, came at night, bent over the bed of the gentleman as though she were conversing with him, and after a while went away again. The servant, having twice observed this circumstance, asked his master whether he knew that every night a woman clothed in white stood by his bedside. The master replied that he had slept soundly, and had observed nothing of the sort. The next night he took care to remain awake. The woman came, and he asked her who she was and what she wanted. She answered that she was his wife. He returned, "My wife is dead and buried." She answered, she had died by reason of his sins, but that if he would receive her again, she would return to him in life. He said, if it were possible, he should be well content. She told him he must undertake not to swear, as he was wont to do, for that if he ever did so, she should once more die, and he permanently quit him. He promised this, and the dead woman, returning to seeming life, dwelt with him, ate, drank, and slept with him, and had children by him. One day that he had guests, his wife went to fetch some cakes from an adjoining apartment, and remained a long time absent. The gentleman grew impatient, and broke out into his old oaths. The wife not returning, the gentleman with his friends went to seek her, but she had disappeared. Only the clothes she had worn lay on the floor. She was never again seen. The devil seduces us at first by all the allurements of sin, in order therefore to plunge us into despair. He pampers up the flesh that he may be, and by prostrate the spirit, that he may by and by prostrate the spirit. We feel no pain in the act of sin, but the soul after it is sad, and the conscience disturbed. The devil often casts this into my breast. How, if thy doctrine be false and erroneous, wherewith the Pope, the Mass, friars, and nuns are thus dejected and startled, at which the sour sweat has drizzled from me. But at last, when I saw he would not leave, I gave him this answer. Avoid Satan, address thyself to my God, and talk with him about it, for the doctrine is not mine, but his. He has commanded me to hearken unto this Christ. Between husband and wife there should be no question as to meum, M-E-U-M, and tum, T-U-U-M. All things should be in common between them, without any distinction or means of distinguishing. St. Augustine said finely, a marriage without children is the world without the sun. Dr. Luther said one day to his wife, you make me do what you will. You have full sovereignty here, and I award you with all my heart the command in all household matters, reserving my rights in other points. Never any good came out of female domination. God created Adam master and lord of living creatures, but Eve spoilt all when she persuaded him to set himself above God's will. 'Tis you women, with your tricks and artifices that lead men into terror. The blasphemer's warning. 'Tis a grand thing for a married pair to live in a perfect union, but the devil rarely permits this. When they are apart, they cannot endure the separation, and when they are together, they cannot endure always seeing one another. 'Tis as the poet says, nec tecum vivere possum, nec senti. Neither can I live with thee nor without thee. Married people must assiduously pray against these assaults of the devil. I have seen a marriage where at first husband and wife seemed as though they would eat one another up. In 6 months they separated in mutual disgust. 'Tis the devil inspires this evanescent ardor in order to divert the parties from prayer. Dr. Luther said in reference to those who write satirical attacks upon women that such will not go unpunished. If the author be one of high rank, rest assured he is not only of noble origin, but a surreptitious intruder into the family. What defects women have, we must check them for in private, gently by word of mouth, for woman is a frail vessel. There was at Frankfurt on the Oder a schoolmaster, a pious and learned man, whose heart was fervently inclined to theology, and who had preached several times with great applause. He was called to the dignity of deacon, but his wife, a violent, fierce woman, would not consent to his accepting the charge, saying she would not be the wife of a minister. It became a question, what was the poor man to do? Which was he to renounce, his preachership or his wife? Luther at first said jocosely, Jocosely, said jocosely, oh, if he is married, as he tell me, a widow, he must needs obey her. But after a while he resumed severely, the wife is bound to follow her husband, not the husband his wife. This must be an ill woman, nay, the devil incarnate, to be ashamed of a charge with which our Lord and his apostles were invested. If she were my wife, I should shortly say to her, wilt thou follow me, aye or no? Reply forthwith, and if she replied no, I would leave her and take another wife. The hair is the finest ornament women have. Of old, virgins used to wear it loose, except when they were in mourning. I like women to let their hair fall down their back. 'Tis a most agreeable sight. Sayings of Luther. I have no pleasure in any man who despises music. It is no invention of ours. It is the gift of God. I place it next to theology. Satan hates music. He knows how it drives the evil spirit out of us. The strength and glory of a town does not depend on its wealth, its walls, its great mansions, its powerful armaments, but on the number of its learned, serious, kind, and well-educated citizens. Greek and Latin are the scabbard. Greek and Latin are the scabbard, which holds the sword of the Spirit, the cases which enclose the precious jewels, the vessels which contain the old wine, the baskets which carry the loaves and fishes for the feeding of the multitude. Only a little of the first fruits of wisdom, only a few fragments of the boundless heights, breadth, and depths of truth have I been able to gather. My own writings are like a wild forest, compared with the gentle, lipid fluency of his Bren's language. If small things dare be compared with great, my words are like the spirit of Elijah, a great and strong wind, rending the mountains and breaking in pieces the rocks, and his is the still small voice. But yet God uses also coarse wedges for splitting coarse blocks, and besides the fructifying grain, he employs also the rending thunder and lightning to purify the atmosphere. I must root out the stumps and trunks, and I am a rough woodsman who must break the road and prepare it. But Magister Philip goes on quietly and gently, plows and plants, sows and waters joyfully. But temperate with your children, punish them if they lie or steal, but be just in what you do. It is a lighter sin to take pears and apples than to take money. I shudder when I think what I went through myself. My mother beat me about some nuts once till the blood came. I had a terrible time of it, but she meant well. Never be hard with children. Many a fine character has been ruined by the stupid brutality of pedagogues. The parts of speech are a boy's pillory. I was myself flogged 15 times in one forenoon over the conjunction of a verb. Punish if you must, but be kind too, and let the sugar plum go with the rod. My being such a small creature was a misfortune for the Pope. He despised me too much. What, he thought, could a slave like me do to him? To him who was the greatest man in the world? Had he accepted my proposal, he would have extinguished me. The better a man is, the more clearly he sees how little he is good for, and the greater mockery it is to him to hold the notion that he has deserved reward. Miserable creatures that we are, we earn our bread in sin. Till we are 7 years old, we do nothing but eat and drink and sleep and play. From 7 to 71, we study for hours a day. The rest of it, we run about and amuse ourselves. Then we work till 50, and then we grow again. Oh, I meant to 21. Sorry, I said 71. From 7 to 21, we study for hours a day. The rest of it, we run about and amuse ourselves. Then we work till 50, and then we grow again to be children. We sleep half our lives. We give God 1/10 of our time, and yet we think that with our good works we can merit heaven. What have I been doing today? I have walked for 2 hours. I have been at meals 3 hours. I have been idle 4 hours. Ah, enter not into judgment with thy servant, O Lord. The barley which we brew, the flax of which we weave our garments, must be bruised and torn ere they come to the use for which they were grown. So must Christians suffer? The natural creature must be torn and threshed. The old Adam must die for the higher life to begin. If a man is to rise to nobleness, he must first be slain. The principle of marriage runs through all creation, and flowers as well as animals are male and female. Praise be to God the Creator, who out of a dead world makes all live again. See those shoots, how they burgeon and swell on this April day. Image of the resurrection of the dead. Winter is death, summer is the resurrection. Between them, the spring and autumn has the period of uncertainty and change. The proverb says, trust not a day, ere birth of May. Let us pray our Father in heaven to give us this day our daily bread. We are in the dawn of a new era. We are beginning to think something of the natural world which was ruined in Adam's fall. We are learning to see all around us the greatness and glory of the Creator. We can see the almighty hand, the infinite goodness, in the humblest flower. We praise Him, we thank Him, we glorify Him. We recognize in creation the power of His Word. He spoke and it was there. The stone of the peach is hard, but the soft kernel swells and bursts when the time comes. An egg. What a thing is that? If an egg had never been seen in Europe and a traveler had brought one from Calcutta, how would all the world have wondered? If a man could make a single rose, we should give him an empire. Yet roses and flowers no less beautiful are scattered in profusion over the world, and no one regards them. Pause there on page 30. And the next section is Hans Sachs, page 31. Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you. Yes. It is 12:02 in the 12:03 in the afternoon here. 1, 2, 3. Alexa, volume 5.
Laid at the clay, they cut and slay. No harder it was his home.
And it's a brand day, you're a founder. Good wife, do do do.